clicked it.
Oh,
Well, I'm trying to help, man. Teamwork makes the dream work. You did your part, I did mine. We're good.
I like it. So are we
We're
actually live now?
Yeah.
No, we're not. It's all lies.
There it
No,
is.
No.
Yeah,
Click it
we're
or ticket. Click it or ticket, man.
There we are. We're live. Oh, good grief alive.
Are we still
Sorry,
live?
everybody. This one's on me.
No. It's a team effort, man. No one person takes blame
It's
here.
great. It's like, click it. We're live. Click it. No, we're not live. Fuck it. Click it. God damn it. Click it again.
It's clicked. I clicked it.
This is what I get for trying to help.
Oh, I love it. I think this is awesome. If you check out the stream, I had fun with the stream. I couldn't help it. It just had to be done. I figured you two were doing the tech stuff. I could do nothing more than just have fun and put a slide up here and China and, well, pretty much so everywhere. Oh, dear.
Oh.
Actually, I need to be blue. I need to be Ford blue this evening because I owe Ford. No, I'll go Ford blue. That's kind of like Ford dark blue, purplish. We'll figure shit out. What's that? That's green. That's not blue.
That's pretty. There we go.
Oh, look at you.
Ow, God damn it.
That's adorable. You all right there, buddy? It looks like you just broke a knuckle.
I'm just gonna
Look,
cut off
actually-
under it. I'm done. Fuck it. Do not hit the Concorde because it is solid and will hurt.
Well, that's a cute look. That's.
Alright,
Oh,
we got blue.
There you go.
What
Yeah,
the
boy.
hell's name has he got going on?
he discovered.
Yeah.
He's got buttons, hasn't he? That's just all it is.
Right?
Hang
TikTok,
on.
brother.
Oh God, Rachel's just threatened us. She's like, we're gonna get hosted on Restream.
Restream.
What in the hell's name is Restream?
What's WeStream? Yeah, I don't know what's
I
going
don't
on.
know.
It
Rachel,
sounds like a
what the hell
service
is
that
Restream?
restreams things, but
We're fucking lucky if we can get this shit running. God forbid we try something else. All right. Now I'm getting text messages.
Loki says, "What's up?"
Evening all.
So what are we doing? The glasses are bent.
We are discussing how in the physical world, when I come up to you and I go, I'm ever so sorry. Hey, I just noticed you left your front door television open. Just to give you a heads up. And you go, oh, absolutely splendid. No, thank you for telling me. Yet in the digital world, when I walk up to you and go, hey, you left your front door open, you 5 times out of 10 send the lawyers after me. 2 times out of 10, you accuse me of breaking into you. 1 times out of 10, you say thank you, and whatever's left is probably for the feds to turn up.
Mm-hmm.
That is our discussion this evening. How do we call your digital baby ugly without getting arrested? Oh my God. You are, all right, you're distracting and you are taking over the view. I think, no, it's all 3 of us. I have no clue what the hell's going on. I got you on gallery. There we go.
feeling punchy, are we?
Just a little. You know, if you've had the weeks I've had, 3 of the vehicles this week have not just had problems. 2 of them have had semi-terminal problems. One of them is, it literally is a shit show. Although I will give a call out because they might actually be watching it because I had to use it as a valid excuse. Would you quit that shit? My ADD is flipping off.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, squirrel.
Oh, me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
God. So I will give a shout out. I literally just came from O'Meara, the Ford dealership down 104th in my neck of the woods. Evan.
No, I'm done. Done. Hands are here.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what else you're working with, but if things start changing, we're gonna be having some really awkward conversations.
Hands are here. I'll show them the whole time now.
Oh my gosh.
Show me your hands.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the O'Meara 4 guys because I walked in there and I'm like, I need help. because the truck that we bought to do the job it was meant to do wasn't able to do the job it was meant to do, couldn't do the job it was meant to do, failed miserably at doing the job it was meant to do. So we've been sorting that shit out, and thankfully whomever. So yeah, in theory, if everything gets sorted out tomorrow and they hold up to their end of the bargain and I turn up with a bag load of money, I will be the proud owner of a newer, not a new because the buggers are expensive, but a newer F350 Super Duty FX4 Julie that should be able to haul every fucking thing that we possibly have.
I'm feeling like you would be good with that purchase.
And
Yeah.
that shit will run.
Well, it's going to run better than the freaking Ram 2500. Let's just go, because that fucking thing needs to be taken. Actually, it doesn't need to be. You know what? We actually do need a fire sale. The RV, which by the way has drug residue and bodily fluids left in it. Yay for us. Courtesy of the other Ford dealership, which that got slept in by some homeless people, and they had a good night. I mean, God knows what they were cooking up and drinking and having sex with, but they did pretty good in our RV. And unfortunately, the dealership didn't look after the RV while it was in their care. So yeah, we got to deal with that mess. So yeah, good fun. And the Mercedes throwing codes, it's pissed as well. So the only car that's actually working properly?
The Boss.
Yeah, fucking Boss. Seriously. Boss 302.
When you texted me last night about the RV, I had to laugh hard when we acquired our disaster of an RV, which I have to deal with again soon. It too had some folk living in it.
Oh, no.
They were kind enough not to, throw a party and cook meth in it, but they were living in it for sure.
Yeah, it's I just realized I got the audio on this one. Yeah, they they were in it for one night. My understanding from the Ford dealership that it was that, and kudos to the Ford dealership. They admitted they mea culpa immediately. The police were there obviously, but then mea culpa. They said they explained what they had done. They obviously hadn't taken due care and attention over it, but the fact it was there in the first place really isn't their problem. It's Camping World and it's the fuckwits of Forest River. And I can still say that because the lawsuit hasn't gone in until like Monday or Tuesday. So I can kind of get away with that ish. Jen's going to probably yell at me in a minute. So I'll shut up on that portion of it. They were in it for one night apparently, and they made their most of their one night of fun and games. Good grief alive. Yeah, we had to leave a bunch of stuff behind. Jen doesn't want to touch any of it, and so we got some of the stuff back yesterday and last night. Everything got bleached, everything went through sanitary washes, and we'll have to inspect and see what still smells and what's good and what we just one of those fun evenings. Moral of the story, seriously, don't buy an RV, just go get a horse trailer with living quarters. Well, fucking easier.
I'm not having any problems, you guys.
Oh man. I have whatever deity, you know what this is. This is retribution, and I know it. This is because this dumbass poked the bear by getting watch number 666 out of 250 from Shinoda.
That's what happened. We mess around.
I know. That's it. I poked the bear. End of discussion. Learned my lesson.
You done got some Satan on you, dog.
I got no problem. I know some very, very nice Satan. They're nice people. I mean, they've got enough problems, but they're not bad people. I mean, I know some of the folks that bat for that side of the fence. And I mean, there's human beings that they're nice individuals. That's some really good conversation. But if I've gotten under that person's radar, do me a bugger, do me a favor. There's other people you can deal with. Let me get my shit together.
But you know the way good and evil works.
Right.
Satan doesn't attack people that are already his disciples, man. He attacks the people that are being effective. Yeah. He doesn't go to the bars and
you
get
know
people.
What? As last time I put it, he can bugger off. He can leave my damn up. Well, the RV's gone, no matter which way, shape. He can leave the boss lot. Leave my damn boss lot. Leave my V8.
Well, if you do manage to get the RV back, we could take it down to Iowa. I know a guy.
Fuck.
Do not make me spill my dinner. This is all I've had. Almost all I've actually no. We went out. Jen and I went out, and it was meant to be Jen Swede and I went out for lunch today. Poor Swede, I sent him the directions to completely the wrong lazy dog. He ended up in freaking Erie, Colorado, because he was sensible enough to drive up there, but not sensible enough to call me to go, why the fuck are you sending me 20, 30 miles away? So I feel really bad on that one. So Jen and I spent like 3 hours today just working through like my life stuff, the work stuff, all the stuff we got going on with clients, the shit show that is Signet, and working through all that shenanigans. We'll have that conversation this evening as well. Bits of that conversation, but we're going to have that conversation because yeah.
I have an update for you on our side too, man, because we did have I asked my team to get together for a powwow.
Yeah.
And
with your team.
well, and that's what it was. You know, it was, what would we want Chris to do?
Oh,
and
actually, that anticipates a question I was going to be asking you in about. Get out of the rubbish bin, you rotten tail rag of a small dog. The Velosa slipper raptors running around the place. Yeah, that actually anticipates a question.
Well, yeah. So so I asked the team to put together, give me a Christmas list. Like in a perfect world, what would be the things that you would love to see Chris do? And then I'm going to take the same thing to Chris and ask him, what if you had a Christmas list of the things that you would just love to do, right? I mean, what's like I get up in the morning and I'm like, you know, whatever, you know, lollipops and unicorns and rainbows. And let's try to blend that shit together. One of the things you're never going to have to worry about with me and with us is ever being somebody's marketing bitch.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You're just, you know how we play, man. We play straight up ball. Yeah. We're not. So that part is, you know, not a concern at all, but it's, and then I asked one other thing for the team. I said, I want Chris, consider this. I love Chris's idea, and I do love your idea of Dave.
Mm.
So how do we work together to get Dave running? We can use it. He can have his business. And then we also talked about a new cyber range that we'd like to build.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and it's just kind of figuring out, you know, all the.
Can we make a cyber range on a ship? Can we do a shipping cyber range? Like a shipping, I almost want to do it. Rewind, engage brain. December. Dubai Air Show in December. There's a big air show that goes on every year in Dubai. Very big one, apparently. Guess which numpty's been asked to go out there and give a talk on aviation security. I'm out of the country. I can say whatever I want. I might not be allowed back in the country, but
you can come to Mexico, man.
Oh man, yeah. So December, we're talking. I got hit up about it, and my first question was, so why did you approach me? And they're like, well, you appear to have some history in the security arena, specifically around aviation and other kinds of research in security. I'm like, that was actually a very politically correct and nice way to put it. Thank you. Totally awesome conversation. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Okay. I'm intrigued to see what folks come back with. I'm actually really, really intrigued to see what your folks come back with. You know, it's like we always have our perspective as to where we think we can be most useful. You know, I think I know where I can be most useful. Yet when looking at it through somebody else's lenses is always really, really interesting because they've got so many different experiences. And it's, you know, is it the cons? Is it leverage? You know, what is it? Which is always really, really cool to hear. So I'm actually intrigued on that. That's actually going to be totally freaking cool to sit down and kind of noodle through. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I like taking, you know, one group of ideas, another group of ideas, and blending them together so that, you know, you just come up with this really cool, like, painting, I guess, you know, shit. So, you know, you having your list of things that you think that you're the best at, they having their things, and we take it together. And I told them too, you know, it's possible that nothing would work out, but what a fun exercise to put all this shit together and try to figure it out.
Yeah. I have something I have to talk with you guys about. We'll talk 2 seconds online, but then at some point we'll be talking a bunch offline. You guys are obviously doing a bunch of things with the States and doing some effing amazing things with the States. Guess which numpty just got asked to go before the Virginia state legislature, sponsored by one of the senators, to go and talk with them and also be part of the working group in DC to help out with cybersecurity and humans and protecting them and all that shit. So I just got invited to go do that. And
Nice.
it's coming in through Virginia and other things. And the logic for Virginia running with this is, guess where so much of the world's traffic goes through is through those kind of knocking, those, oh, interesting. Keep my name in that conversation for now. Yeah, we'll have that talk offline. Sorry, but yeah, so that is, that's really interesting. Yeah, so that's, I would love, I already talked to them about you guys. I already sent them both of you guys' info and stuff as well. So you're on the radar. So yeah, just heads up on that one. That should be kind of cool.
Thank you. Good to know.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to get really fun. I'm quite excited about what's unfolding in front of us.
Yeah, there's it was interesting. I did where's it with? I was talking with I talked to the general. I did the generally talk again with this week. We actually totally amazing guy. I'll see if I can dig it up in a second. Some interesting conversations. He wants me to basically come on like every 6 months. We're going to do a 6-month catch up. Amazing, really good audience as well. Another one of those YouTube chaps. I'll see if I can find him and I'll post it in the thing. General Spalding, totally awesome guy, like seriously awesome guy. And
That's
they,
cool.
yeah, just another one of those. As he said, he spent most of his military career working out and planning how to drop missiles and bombs 6,000 miles away from the American shores. And now the attacks are on the American shores, but we can't use bombs, normal, well, can, but not as effectively. And so, they're looking at how do we change tactics? What do we have to do? And it was really interesting. He put me on the spot, a couple of really awesome curveballs. And thankfully, I talked to him a number of times, and thankfully, I think he knows that I can handle them. But one of his curveballs was like, look, if I make you president for the day, he's like, no, not that. Let me make you president for the next 8 years. What would you change? What would you do? What would you change? And thanks to you two and the conversations that we have, the first words out of my mouth were accountability. I like nothing. First words out of my mouth were accountability. After that, we talked about education and a couple of other things. But yeah, literally, the first words out of my mouth was accountability, and accountability in two different areas. One, our industry, and secondly, and I explained this in Evan, you've said this so many times, shit should roll uphill. Said to me, the Chinese have got this one thing right. If the company fucks up, the van rolls up, they knock on the boardroom and the CEO's door, and they haul them away and have a conversation with them. We don't do that. We don't do anything close to that. We maybe send a rather terse letter, and the lawyers send one back saying, we're now going to sue you for defamation, which doesn't work. Or we try to go after the board of directors, and 7 years later, it's tied up in more litigation than we know. We're like, that. Roll the truck up, make a few of them disappear for a short period of time. Believe me, word will get around pretty quickly. People will pull their fucking socks up, and maybe we won't have so much data. So you're a little nicer than I am. We know this. I mean, you guys are nice and friendly, and I want bodies on the floor. But it was a really interesting conversation as to, accountability, how we would enforce that, how we would deal with it, and a few other things. But yeah, it's just an awesome conversation with him. So yeah,
That's
good.
cool, man. Yeah, last Friday, I was giving that talk to the Blue Ribbon Commission here.
Yeah. I
in
didn't
Minnesota.
We talked a little bit about that. How the hell did that go? Talk more.
It was awesome, man. Dell went first, right? And then it was Accenture. And then it's like one of these things is not like the other, because then there's me, and they're all like, zero trust and all this cool shit. And, and I'm like, okay, you can't do zero trust.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why, and it was, I was pretty politically correct, but at the end I thought, you probably hate me now, but whatever. But then the commissioner, of the CIO, Tarek Tomes, got on. First time I really met him. I mean, we do business with the state of Minnesota, but I work primarily with the CISO.
Yeah.
Man, I'm impressed with that dude. That guy is good, straight shooter. I really enjoyed what he had to say. And then, afterwards, I got an email from the chair of that commission, or council, I guess, whatever, saying they really appreciated my candor. So I replied back, I'm like, yeah, our government needs a hell of a lot more candor. Let's do candor. Let's make that like a mantra, candor, honesty, trust. So I appreciated that. And then I reached out this morning to, yesterday, one of our state representatives. We had a talk last night. He said they loved it. And then reached out to the state CISO again this morning, the guy that I've been working with. And we're looking at, how do we get, my big challenge was, what is the state of security in the state of Minnesota today?
Right. We talked briefly about that. Yeah.
And the fact that you can't give me an answer tells me that it's broken, because you should have an answer for that. The basics, the fundamentals, we're running off. You're talking about zero trust and endpoint this and all this other bullshit. And hold up. The fuck are you doing? So I think it was a really good conversation. I think it's going to have, hold a lot of weight, because it's logic, man. I mean, what the fuck?
What's going to be interesting? There was a release that was put out today, and I found it when I was talking to the general. Was the current administration has put two requirements out, and it's on a release somewhere. 2 requirements out. First and foremost, if you are critical infrastructure, specifically pipeline, you have to report a breach within 12 hours. But the second one, and I haven't read the full thing, so I will stand corrected, but the second one was the remit that every single one of those industries has to report within like the next week as to the state of their cybersecurity. I'm going to be really interested how many just knuckle the fuck under and do it, and how many spend a week trying to get excuses and telling lawyers.
Dude, we're so much on the same page. So Ryan sent me this earlier today, the same thing you're talking about, that announcement from CISA. And then he's like, we got to put something together, and hit these pipeline, people up. And so that's what I'll be doing after the show, is writing that piece. And then, we'll hit them all up. Like, you got to do this shit, right?
Well, and
do it right.
We have the fastest, most accurate and correct path to the answer.
Yep.
That's end of the day. We have the fastest, most accurate and correct path to the answer. That's ultimately the secret sauce, if you will.
Right, exactly.
And you don't even have to wear clothes.
Nope.
Keep your hands where I can see them. Keep your hands where I can see them.
I work 80%. I work 80% of the time without clothes on, and nobody even knows. I have no idea.
No, we know. It's the times you never turn your webcam on.
Yeah.
No, you can't see down there. Am I wearing clothes right now?
Don't know, don't care.
No. I am.
I have. I got my pajamas. I got my.
Bro.
Oh dear.
And hey, I learned something fun today. So they have decided to allow the CARES money specifically for schools to be spent on cybersecurity. But the schools don't know that. I mean, they kind of do, but not because you know how they make those announcements.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great.
Yeah.
So are they still leaving it to the individual school districts?
But of course they are. Come on. Unified strategy? Why would that make sense?
I know, right?
Do it to drive down costs and increase consistency? I mean, that's just foolish talk.
Yeah, true.
Who wants things to work better for less money? No one. Don't believe me? Ask the people at Camping World.
Shit. Oh my gosh. Just
sorry.
No, God, just don't be sorry. It's just yeah. You know what? Okay, so call out. Rachel's online. I had a freaking amazing time this week. was it Tuesday? I think I don't know whatever day. What do we? I don't know what day are we on today. Was it? It was Tuesday. Oh my gosh, Rachel and I got to hang out. We were scheduled for an hour. We went for almost 2. It was like this. It was like another session like this. Ton of fun. Rachel, I know you're listening in. You are freaking awesome. You rock. You're amazing. Thank you. Just a total amount of fun on that one. Just a total amount of fun on that one.
That's cool, man.
So much fun. Just hanging out, talking.
Oh, fuck.
It was, there were I think ISSAE folks and Infogati folks and some other folks listening in, and I think they got some good stuff out of it as well. So it was kind of cool because we talked about general stuff, but we actually went into some really interesting specifics. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, you asked me what I want to do. One of the things I want to do is somehow or other figure out how to do more of that, how to do more of the conversations where, to your point, I'm not having to go, well, and we can solve this with SciNet. I want to just go, look, you know what? This is what's going on. These are the challenges. This is why we exist. This is why we're doing the shit that we're doing. And here's how we can solve it. Here's how it can be solved.
Yep.
Or at least we can actually make a bloody good dent in the problem.
That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
That's how I work. I mean, that's how I work with every one of the CISOs. And, see, like every one of my introductory emails, it's like, I'm not selling shit. Like the last email I just sent to, I've never worked with her before. I don't even remember what state it was, but I even actually put in there, I can't solve any of your problems. I don't even know what the fuck problems you have.
There we go. Yeah.
So let's sit down and talk. And if you have a problem I can solve, I'll solve it. If you don't, maybe I know somebody else who can solve it.
Right.
Or maybe we can just be in this shit boat together. I don't know. But
have tea, we'll share.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Well, and that's what I do with the schools, right? I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Let me help. And usually some of that help comes in the form of paid work, but that's not conditional on the help.
Yeah.
Right. The help is for, I mean, it's what we do with all the people we mentor.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for that.
Right.
But I enjoy it plenty.
I talking about that, and I won't go into names, but we have a community that might be running. And I took some heat. I took some heat because we have people coming in from Africa. We got people coming in from Malaysia. We got people coming in from all over the world. It's actually pretty freaking cool. And I took heat. Well, we're not selling to people in Africa. We don't have presence down there. We don't have a presence in Malaysia. We don't have presence in here. Why are we letting these people in? Those aren't the people we're targeting.
And you never will if you don't involve them and build relationships now. Hello.
I know. Yeah. And that's, between that and the literally being told directly word for word, because everybody else lies, it's okay for us to tell lies. That was word.
Wait, Evan, can I use that excuse? Would that fly? Word
for word. I'm not messing. I'm not shutting it down.
I'm so fucking mad right now.
You can imagine. I went. So I actually was screaming at the computer, and when we got to that, I actually went quiet. I went quiet and I sat back, and I'm like, I fundamentally cannot. I've been paid to lie in my life. I do it for a living sometimes because that's my job. I do it. My job sometimes is not fun. It's not, well, actually the government stuff, I'm actually pretty much quitting doing most of the nasty weird shit that I've been doing. So I don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. There's people younger than me and all that stuff that we've been training up, and they're kicking ass, like seriously fucking kicking ass, which is like, yay. So I get to take a step back from a bunch of that stuff. But that was my job. My job was to lie, cheat, and deceive to get into systems so that we knew what the hell was going on and then could work from it. That's fine. I have no problem doing that if it means we save humans. I have a problem doing it if the only reason I'm doing it is to find out marketing information or intelligence on what you are doing as a company. No, fuck that, forget the soldiers. So yeah, that's been noodling in my brain for the last 48 hours.
That's rule number one. That's rule number one. At the companies that at both FR Secure and Security Studio, it's number one. It's on the wall. Number one, we tell the truth. I don't give two shits if you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Obviously in social engineering engagements, things like that, when you get paid to do that shit, that's not lying. That's acting. That's different, right? It's part of that engagement. But yeah, I have zero, like beyond zero tolerance for lying. Even to the point, like yesterday, I was on.
But everybody else is lying. Everybody else is lying. I mean, it's fine
right.
because everybody else is lying. And because everybody else is lying, we find out that they're lying. So it's okay for us to lie.
Fuck you. No, because, and there's two different lies, right? There's lies of commission and there's lies of omission. And people don't realize that. Like commission is when I just outright tell you something that's not true.
Right.
But then there's also lies of omission, meaning things that I'm not telling you that I'm supposed to be telling you.
Right.
That's a lie of omission. And they're both lies.
Right.
We can all play nice together and we make mistakes, right? I'm not telling anybody that you need to tell me things all the time, but there's certain things that I should know. And there's certain things that I don't give a shit about. But when you know those things that I should know, and then you don't tell me those things I should know, that's also a problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, zero tolerance for lies, deception. I mean, the technical deception, that's good shit. I'm talking like, you can't function.
Yeah.
I need trust.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's, So yeah, that was, that got thrown into the mix this week as well. So it's been
that's crazy, man.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely been, it's been an interesting one. It's definitely been, hey, actually, speaking of lies, I put it out in response, shall we say, to part of a conversation about hang on, where does fluffing stop and BS start? Fluffing stops when the sex scene starts. You do realize, and this is to Matt, you do realize that in the adult industry, fluffing is actually getting the gentleman ready to perform. So fluffing actually stops when the camera starts rolling. Just a heads up on that one, so you're aware. No problems at all. I'm good. I'm helping to answer. Don't ask me how I know these things. Anyway, we digress. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about the LinkedIn post.
I can't think anymore.
Sometimes
awesome.
like squirrels are not technology related.
So to tie us back to our topic for a second, I think that the reason people struggle to accept the digital reality of the proverbial fly being down, right? Because if you tell somebody you got a booger in your nose or your fly's down or there's some nastiness on your face or whatever, everybody's reaction is, oh my gosh, they deal with it. And then they say, thank you.
Yeah.
Because but you told them they're messed up. Now, nobody appreciates if you call their baby ugly. No matter how rugged that child is, nobody appreciates that, right?
Right.
When you tell them that there's a better way to do what they're doing on an individual level, they're usually appreciative.
Yeah.
If you tell them that something they've put effort into is no good, they resist, whether that's physical or digital. If I come look at the shed you just built in your backyard and I'm like, whoa, like one side wall's 3 feet, the other side wall's 11 feet. I'm like, did you do that on purpose? They're like, no, it's level.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, whoa, that's messed up. They will immediately be disappointed. I put effort into that. I thought it was good. I thought I did a good job. Or I thought I did a passable job. And we come along and go, just burn the thing down and try again.
Again, yeah.
So I think part of the resistance is inherent in that human nature of having a sense of pride in, even if it's half-assed, what they've done. They've invested hours, right, wrong, or otherwise. Somebody's put time into either doing or not doing, but time has gone into that.
All right. So can't disagree at all. And that's, to me, that is it's not the extreme, not by a long way. To me, that's further along the scale than where I started. The first start, you were right. I tell you, your flies are down. Typically, you thank me, or at least you're embarrassed and you mumble or thanks and you wander off in a different direction. In the digital world, telling you you have, a port open or your website's got a vulnerability, that to me is the same as telling you your flies are down or your front door's open. I haven't told you your shed's ugly yet. I haven't looked at the code to see if your shed's ugly. I haven't wandered into the back-end database and just started giggling because the architecture is ass about backwards. All I've done, even if you use the shed analogy, is go, hey, love the eclectic thing. Hey, by the way, the door's open at the moment. Oh, okay, thanks for closing it.
All right, let me spin this a different way, using just the fly analogy.
Yeah.
If they're on the public street and you tell them their fly is down, they say thank you. If you look in their bedroom window and tell them their fly is down, they pull a gun. I think that when you tell them their port is open, they don't realize that I'm looking not in your bedroom window per se, but I'm on the public street, but they perceive it as, because that port is on my firewall that's in my private realm.
Oh, that's okay. That's an interesting way of looking at it. That's actually really interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're right. If you take it to the human analysis, it's actually the reverse of something I was saying to somebody the other day. They were asking about how do I explain the cloud to my board of directors. I'm like, take the laptop and go put it on the street. Don't put anybody around it. That's the open cloud. I'm like, now you can build that analogy from there. So actually, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's interesting. And we do still think that way. People do still think that way. They still think that port on the internet is like theirs, and you have to know the address and you have to find it. I mean, how do we get over that? How do we?
Zero trust.
Remember, next Thursday.
Look at, I was about to have a damn aneurysm.
Next Thursday, we're gonna be in the same darn place. So,
by destroying the perimeter altogether, but not zero trust, but destroying the concept of a perimeter. There is no perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, it's
right.
Yeah.
So let's get down to transactional trust at an appropriate level. And in a transactional trust environment, your port's open is not a good thing. So we need to get that closed, right? Because that part's on the public side of the world.
We might be in trouble.
What do we do? Who's saying what now?
No, it's, hang on, perimeter cybersecurity.
What just happened?
No, dear intelligence community, sorry.
No. Okay, so if you do a search, because you and I are on the same page, there is no effing perimeter. I mean, I don't exactly know when we lost it, but I'm not entirely certain we ever had it. But as soon as BYOD came along, whatever vestiges we thought we had went out of the freaking window. However, according to NetScout, they will secure the perimeter. According to Barracuda, they'll do the perimeter. According to
Identity. Damn it! I almost screenshotted that.
3.9.
Oh, you want to do it again? I'll do it again.
I love Tim's analogy. Almost 4 million hits. If I do perimeter cybersecurity on Google, I get almost 3.97 million hits.
What was I looking up today? I was looking up, like, let's say I wanted to learn something, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was looking up an explanation of what web filtering is, right? Because I'm creating content for revision 3, the next revision of Security Studios S2 org. And so I was working on that, and one of the, and I like to put references in there. So like, web filtering, you need to have blah, 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 whatever. And then here's a reference for you, right? So I Googled like, okay, I want to find like not a salesy reference. I want just like, this is web filtering. So, to help people. Holy shit, there is none.
Did you look in my Wisenary?
I need to write my own.
Do you,
You
want
found
to go
one?
up-
You have
Of
one?
course I've got my damn Wisenary. You know when that.
No. The Wisenary. Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. There's money on that right there. Boom.
That's my new desktop.
Nice.
Oh, I don't
Very
actually have
nice.
web filtering. I'm sorry. I don't have web filtering in the Wisenary. Have you seen the Wisenary? The bloody crazy thing I put together?
The dictionary,
Yeah,
the dictionary
yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
the lexicon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah, I love it.
Hard work. Actually, web filtering isn't in there. I thought I had some filtering in there.
No.
No.
So I
don't.
mean, but it's just like something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's all sales shit.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, like I went 5 pages deep looking for something like, give me a nice reference that I can just put in the content. And it was all
Well,
like,
you got to call it by the right name then, because web filtering is just marketing bullshit. You got to call it by the correct name, which is content control software.
I
We
can't, I
have a
don't know if I,
definition for this. I know that it's a dumb name, but we have a definition and an explanation for what this is.
fine. I'll do it.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate you finding that.
Oh my
Hey,
God,
did you know?
content control.
So-
No, because nobody understands. Nobody's got a fucking clue what content control.
I know that.
Nobody knows what it is. It's a WAP. I mean, it used to just be F5. Let's face it, once upon a time, it was just F5. What have you got? I got an F5. Well, I know exactly what you got. Well, who was the other one? There was a few others out there.
Well, Barracuda had an early run at some stuff.
We go back further. Go back. We're going back
Oh, you want to go on the time machine shit?
15, 16 years ago.
I don't know, I was running
When
my Pix firewall.
No, 15, 16 years ago, we had the early days of like web application filtering. One of them got bought by Citrix, and it was actually a really freaking nice one. I can't remember who the hell it was.
Blue Coat.
No.
That was an early
Web
player.
application firewall from like 20.
Checkpoint was doing shit kind of,
No,
early
Early
back.
2000s.
It was early days. Like
Radware had some shit.
Yeah, it was. Oh, man, I wish we need the history of this. Don't put Sonic Wall in there, you great numpty.
Sonic Wall wasn't a thing.
Yeah, good God's alive. John, I'm going to find you and I'm gutting you with a spork. Who used to do that? Somebody did. All right, this is going to bug me. I'm going to have to find it.
When did
They got-
WatchGuard come around? That WatchGuard was like 2002.
It was like a year or two after IBM bought the security company that they bought. And I can't remember who it was because they were absolutely effing amazing. And my brain's gone to sleep. Good God.
Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of companies that were bought up, back then that they just buried. Like Cisco was so good at like taking really cool technology and just making it shit.
Well, they did. Who is it? I mean, this again, we're showing age on this one. Who the fuck has got next gen web apps? Oh God, science. All right, we'll deal with that later.
Net Nanny.
Oh, now you're going back. No, it wasn't them. It wasn't them. It was
No,
like-
but that's some time machine for you.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Well, we were doing web filtering manually through our own DNS, before Open
Right.
DNS and all that other shit. We were doing that back in 98.
Jeff's onto it. I'm claiming NFT rights on the picture I just did of Evan. Just saying. I
Yep.
put that out there. It's in the public domain now. I claim rights on that.
Public domain.
Trying to think when the Rugrat was born. What are we in?
2021.
3. So it would have been 2004, 2005.
There's all kinds of shit in the market in 04 and 05.
Well, I know, and I'm trying to remember who the smeg it was. Citrix bought.
Symantec was doing a whole bunch of shit back then too.
Kathy
Yeah.
was still strong.
Citrix. I don't know who the hell they bought. Who did web app? Man, I want the news. Go find me who the hell bought it. Oh, hang on. Cisco web app. No, 2005. Hang on. Finegrounds. It wasn't them. Oh, man. No, it wasn't Netscaler. Teros. Yes. Who's the Google master? All right. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm not putting that as a reference in the fucking content.
Then I'm a Google master. Teros. It was Teros. They had a pretty awesome. Teros had a really awesome like web application filter. It was actually really, really cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was it. We actually did. So I was working for Limited. I'd actually gotten dragged in. Basically, I got a phone call one day. I was up in Wisconsin. I got a phone call one day from a headhunter, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to come and help this company that's got a big web presence, yada yada yada." I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" They're like, "Victoria's Secrets." I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" You can tell the kind of people I used to marry. And I'm like, I have no clue. And then I'm like, they're an underwear company. Like, what the hell does a fucking underwear company need with somebody like me? And they're like, well, their web at that point in time, we're going back a long way, pre Morgan being born. They're like, well, their website brings in like $1 billion a year. And I'm like, ooh, oh yeah, they probably need that shit. So I remember getting in there and sorting a bunch of stuff out with some amazing people. And we ended up doing a shit ton load with Teros. We helped build out a bunch of their stuff. It's totally cool. And then they got eaten by fucking Citrix. So then we got overruled and everyone went off and bought F5. Anyway, we digress. Where the hell are we going with this? We're squirreled, totally squirreled.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's bad now? Wait until we're in person next week.
Oh,
it ain't gonna work.
It's gonna be crazy.
So should we just set up a wide angle camera, 3 chairs, get some mics, and just fucking have a hoot? Like, how do we want to do this? Because we either have to share gear, or I can bring some pro audio equipment that I have and pick up a couple mics. We can all have a mic and do it that way, route it through a single computer. Otherwise, we're going to have to be distant from each other. We're going to get a shit ton of feedback.
I have what we probably don't want to be is outside. Maybe, I don't know. It might be nice to be outside, but I don't know how many mosquitoes are in Nebraska. How many mosquitoes does Nebraska have? Does it? We have no mosquitoes here.
More than you.
I don't know.
Minnesota.
But we'll have Dale with us. We'll just put him.
Can we sacrifice Dale? Just like
in charge of mosquito control.
Yeah. Dale
Instead of in a kiddie pool full of stagnant water.
Poor Dale. Oh, we got a couple of other people coming out as well. We could actually have Jesse. We could volunteer Jesse to run around with one of those candle torchy things and try to set fire to everything. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Actually, me and Amy have figured this out. We have the technique. I'll bring down the stuff. We do this when we go camping in the deep woods. There's a fog spray you use, and then you use citronella coils. But you need a shit ton of them. And you just spread them around so that there's like this haze on the outside of the campsite.
And every time the wind changes, we just end up with a face full of citronella coil smoke.
Yeah.
Blended.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure I'm up for this. I might sit in the back of I might actually get a massage in the back of it. Well, I'm not taking the Mercedes because I'm bringing Milo. Oh, that reminds me. So I made a promise that I would not paint because I had the option. I wanted to bring Milo. So Jesse's mom has requested that I do not paint my nails for that trip.
Well, now you tell me. I mean, shit.
Hang on. Just.
I don't know. I'm addicted now. I'm going to do this for always. So we're good.
As soon as I'm back from Nebraska, this getting painted on. But what I am going to do, this will be colored. She's okay with the beard being colored because she's like, that's okay. She's like, apparently Nebraska people, I'm okay with that. She's like, but 6 foot multicolored beard with bright red nails, which is what it would be because it's Nebraska homage. I was asked, and Jesse was very nice and very gracious and asked nicely. He was just like unpicking the holster at the time as he was doing it, so I did actually pay attention to him. But he's like, Mum's got to live there. He's like, they kind of know you there already, and you speak a funny language, and yeah. So, but the beard will definitely be. I'm not sure what color to do it yet. I'll find out this weekend with the rug. I've got Mo starting tomorrow again for a week, so it'll be fun. Yeah, I apologize. Like seriously.
I'm addicted to it now. I'm doing it all the time. It reminded me of a discussion I had with the sales guys. I went into the office a couple of times this week. Holy crap. There were like 7-8 new employees like the day I got there. And they're all like, and they know who I am, but I don't know.
But they don't know who you are.
Yeah. And they're like, I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, I was talking to the sales guys. You know how like gang members get like the teardrop every time they kill a person or something?
Yeah.
They were trying to talk me into getting a teardrop for every network I've taken down. I'm like, Holy
Oh,
shit!
yeah.
I didn't. Can you imagine that? Like, just get a teardrop for every like hack.
No,
You know?
oh my gosh, no.
You to your
No.
belly and then some.
Yeah, it was funny.
That would that would be a lot of teardrops would be going on with it. Oh my gosh, that'd be totally
It was a
fun.
funny idea though.
Yeah, I always wanted to get like with
Or
the
get like an
car.
IP address. Or, you know, just keep listening.
So what Jesse's gonna do with the Highboy, the 77 Highboy, because we're gonna have a little bit of fun with it. He's gonna get a bunch of like stickers made up for like Mercedes symbols and BMW and Audi and Ford. And every single time we actually manage to nail one of them or embarrass the snot out of one of them, he's gonna have like they used to in the World War II planes. He's gonna have like a little wrangle with whatever the one he's just nailed on it. I'm like, you got to do it. You just have to do it. So
That's
that'd be
awesome.
Oh yeah, totally. So much fun. I'm actually, it's going to be nice to get out there. I've taken, we got Monday off, kind of, but I've taken Thursday and Friday. I've like blacked out Thursday and Friday. I'm not. I'm basically going to do my best to not do a darn thing apart from just keep half an eye on things. But I'm not actively doing anything, so it's actually gonna be kind of fun. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I wonder if Tony's on.
I've
Tony
been-
said he was gonna ride his bike down.
Yeah, he's on, or he was earlier at least.
Yeah, there's a couple of folks that are
Is he
actually
coming?
really nice. Oh,
I don't know.
hey,
Tony.
for everybody that is on, I posted the link to the monkey thing or whatever it was on my on the
Monkey
LinkedIn
thing.
post I put out.
The survey monkey I put
There we
out.
go, Survey Monkey. Yeah,
Oh, right.
I put the.
And I've only had a couple people register, so
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Oh, good grief! I'm gonna.
Monkey thing.
the monkey.
Yeah, I had a cardinal. You saw that cardinal today? That thing was cool as hell.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was like seriously pretty, and taking with a proper telephone as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. If it would have been with, whatever the fuck those other ones are called, it wouldn't have been a pretty picture. But
Being a blurry something or other, let's face it.
but the reason why I just thought of that is that's the state bird of Virginia. You were talking about Virginia, and I was trying to look up who I've been talking to at Virginia.
Yeah.
Michael Watson. I've reached out to him a couple times. Haven't actually talked to him yet, but that's who I'm gonna hit up. He's the CISO.
Cliff Hayes, Delegate Cliff Hayes.
Okay.
Seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's so much fun working in states. The hard part is they get hit up so much. It takes a while to build the trust. Once you build the trust, they're the nicest people ever. I love it.
Yeah, it was actually really nice talking with him. Like a totally awesome guy. He's done some amazing stuff. He was the one that championed Virginia's privacy, some of their privacy laws. So he is one of those people that I'm like, okay, you are one that when I take over and it becomes not a democracy, I won't put you in the field and bomb you out of existence. So yeah, it's actually nice. Just another one of those, just like a really, really nice guy. So it's actually kind of cool. Yeah, Communications, Technology and Innovations, Health and Welfare Institute and Appropriations Committee Chair. Procreation, Health and Wealth. Yeah, he's actually done some pretty awesome stuff. So kind of a good guy.
Did you say Procreation Committee Chair?
No, I did not say Procreation. Get your clothes back on.
I would like to be part of that committee.
Yeah, no shit. Especially with all the Bluetooth stuff coming out these days. It's like, let me show you what I can do with Procreation these days. Give me 2 minutes.
Bluetooth. Have you guys seen the
Bluetooth
new
channel.
Sonic stuff?
Yeah.
The using ultrasound and super low frequency sound waves.
No, what? Tell me.
Well, apparently there's a product out there that claims to take care of certain male issues by placing this like sonic device nearby. And
Ooh, that's that'll. I guess that's like having your own personal lazy boy chair. Just readily. No,
yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
They got some interesting contraptions out there.
Apparently, I haven't messed with that stuff. Render and I did a bunch a long time ago with like the Bluetooth adult stuff, and then we got warned off pretty heavily. And we listened for once, which was actually amazing.
Well, and you want to be careful playing with some of those ultra low frequencies. You might stumble onto
Uh,
something you didn't mean to.
no shit. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. There's a, although it'd be fun. Seriously, there's some fun shit to play with the neighbors. That actually might be some. Well, we won't go there. Different discussion one day.
What, finding the resonant frequency of their foundation block?
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of having fun with the neighbors we're talking about.
Yeah, they're the ones. Yeah. Hi. This is where I miss Radio Shack. This is where I miss Radio Shack, because you used to be able to go into Radio Shack and go, this is what I've got. I can resonate at this frequency. However, if I do this and this and this in electronics, I can do this to the frequency. You just better walk in and.
Did you see that bridge one?
Mm.
That one's badass.
No, what am
That's
I?
when Mother Nature matched a resonant frequency.
Oh, yeah,
That thing got all funky.
It just rocked itself to pieces.
But could you imagine being the poor architect on that, sitting there going, "Oh, this is awesome." This,
Whoops.
Well, how would you have known though? You know, I mean,
yeah,
we'd never seen a structure that big, I think, affected that way by wind. It was nuts.
It is amazing, and I guess that's sometimes we have to go through it. It's like I love. I've been in a couple of those the wave machine places where they're testing new designs and all sorts of like really cool stuff, and they're amazing. But we only learned those when we sent chips out and the shit didn't come back, and we're like, I wonder what happened. Or you launch it and it goes blip, 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 blip. You're like, didn't see that coming.
That's it too. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah.
try it again.
Back to the drawing board. Sorry guys, slight delay in production on this one. I love engineering for that stuff though. I mean, I have a huge respect for the engineers that do some of that amazing stuff. I mean, it's totally cool. What was really intriguing, JJ Snow.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting talking to her as the announcement was being made about the latest jet that the Air Force had come up with, and how quickly they had taken it from an idea, concept, drawing board to actually flying the darn thing. And I mean, it was 12, 24, 36 months. And, because of the ability to do rapid prototyping, rapid testing, all the metal 3D printing, and all sorts of other interesting shit that they're working on that will maybe come out. But it was amazing to just see that we've taken something that used to take, 10, 15, 20 years to do the next two airplanes. And 3 years later, you're like, yeah, we got this idea, and there it goes in the sky. It's like, damn, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. I gotta go pee. I'll be back.
You go pee. My Jen just put up a video of, oh my gosh, no wonder it took a while to freaking upload. It's 10 minutes long of Archer. I might actually have to share my screen and do this. So here, I'm going to share my screen while he's going pee. I'm actually going to share my screen. So for those of you that know, Jen, we have a couple of horses. This is Archer. Archer he's a drum horse, which means he's 3 parts. He's like part Clydesdale, part something else, like the ones with the fluffy things, and then part gypsy. He is unlike a horse we've ever had. This is him playing football. He bucks, messes around, comes along, he'll play football. This is him having playtime. Comes over, says hi, goes to the mountain. Oh yeah, picks up his ball, plays with his ball.
That's awesome.
He's just hanging out, playing football.
I like it.
Yeah, and she'll play football with him. She'll go running with him. They'll run up and down. They'll play football. He'll score goals.
Awesome.
This is a horse, okay? And this guy. So we were really fortunate this weekend. There's a movie out there called The Horse Whisperer, And it's based off of this amazing, it's actually based off a real life individual. And we got to hang out this weekend at one of the clinics with him. What I loved about it is in real life, he's as much as an amazing human as he is when the camera's pointing at his nose. In fact, he's actually probably better when the camera's not pointing at his nose. Amazing individual who cares about the horses. Basically, any issues there are, it's basically horses having human problems because the humans have no idea how to communicate. Just fantastic conversations with it. And so Jen's now signed Archer up for a clinic with Buck in a couple of months' time or whatever it is. So it's going to be really awesome to see because, I mean, she's training him on the dressage side. She's training him on like humper jumper stuff. And now the thought process is also to have some fun with him and have him doing cutting, which is basically working with cattle. And this is a big horse. We're not talking a normally civilized sized horse. This guy's like 17 hands or something crazy.
Right. That is a good sized horse.
Oh yeah. I mean, so he'll just wander up and down and wander around. Yeah, she's just playing and hanging out with him. He just plays football. Yeah, it's totally cool. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but he'll just play football and hang out. It's absolutely amazing. And he just, he's going around in circles and just hangs out. It's really interesting because this clinic actually annoyed me because there were some people who weren't listening, and you could tell that their horses, one, were confused because they had no clue what the owners were actually asking them to do, because the hands were not doing the right things and the feet were all over the darn place. And I'm like, you're in a clinic, why don't you actually watch the person that's teaching it in how they communicate without speaking, how they move their body to help communicate, and how they communicate, not communicating to the horse, they're working with, communicating with the horse. And it's just such a difference. And just to see
same with dogs. I see this with dog owners all the time.
Yeah,
I'll pick on Evan while he's gone. He has got the craziest dog I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
This dog was like over my head. Like it was just like 1 second it was on one corner of the room. The next second it was jumping like through my neck. The second after that, it was bouncing off of the furniture. And
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
She's adorable. She is seriously though, super, uber high energy.
Is he bringing the wolf mutts with him? Because I'm bringing. Okay, got it. I'm bringing Milo, so I'll have Milo with me.
Yeah, we're gonna. We're not gonna bring Lucy with. It's just gonna be, she's too skittish and it's too much to manage.
Got it. Yeah, Milo's good. He's a good old boy. Let's face it. He's a good old boy before his time. Let's face it. He's gonna have so much fun though, I think.
Well, it'll be nice to have him there too, because
it'll be.
Because then at least there's a dog present.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be totally cool.
So you had asked a question of how do we get people, and I go back to this, it's part of what we're trying to work on. It's getting these conversations at a state level so that you can begin to build momentum with those folks, which slowly but surely will lead to some type of outcome. Not necessarily good, but some kind of outcome. It's having education conversations with the educators.
Yeah.
I saw something great today on LinkedIn, and it was about how Japanese students in Japan participate in, they are the janitors of the school. There's a rotation schedule. Everybody takes a turn at cleaning the building, cleaning the toilets, doing the thing. And they do this because they want to integrate into their society from day one a sense of community, a sense of responsibility, a sense of no job is beneath or demeaning, right? And everybody plays a role. And the question that was asked was, why aren't we integrating cyber hygiene into the day-to-day activities of our children? We're giving them laptops, we're giving them iPads, we're doing all these things, but we're not teaching them on a daily basis the habits and skills. We're teaching them to keep their hands to themselves on a daily basis. We're teaching them to keep their hands out of their mouth on a daily basis. We're teaching them not to throw things on a daily basis, right? We're doing all these other daily basics, but we're not covering the daily cyber hygiene habit.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting because, you know, the connection for me between the story of the Japanese students and the sense of community and belonging and you know, learning and ingraining that skill because they want to have a clean society. By the way, Japan's one of the cleanest countries in the world, right? Yep. Because of this start them young and it's built into the thing.
Yeah.
I think especially here in America, we lack a sense of community. We lack a sense of responsibility, right? Lack a sense of accountability as a people to each other, which is why it's the pipeline's problem, not my problem, which is why it's, you know, it's always somebody else's fault, not mine.
Yep.
But yet I did nothing to contribute my piece to make, you know, it's like me hucking fireworks, you know, into the neighbor's backyard. And when finally land one close enough to the gas can and his garage burns to the ground, I go, oh, what are you doing leaving the gas can next to your garage? Right?
You did that?
No, I wouldn't do that. I like my neighbors.
I found pretzels.
Ooh,
nice.
Pretzels. But, you know, I think that's how we approach cyber right now is it's, you know, just risk in general. It's somebody else's responsibility. It's somebody else's problem. It's not me. It's not mine. And I don't know how Able will be able to fix that in the entrenched generation.
Yeah.
But I do think there's things we can do to fix it in the new generations.
Well, this brings up a really good.
Say new or say nude?
New.
New.
You're getting to that nude generation though. You're gonna be one of those old dudes. You're just gonna
no shit.
He's just gonna be strutting around Mexico, booty butt naked in a sombrero and some flip flops. He will have on socks, but that's
I was last time I was down in Mexico. The I don't know what you call him. The guy who brings shit, bellboy something.
The waiter.
Because I'm one of those guys who actually has conversations with.
Yeah.
You know, so
they're human. Yeah, they're no different than we are. They're human. It's
But he told me everything's legal in Mexico. I'm like, the hell you say?
For the right price.
Right. So I might be legal to do that in Mexico.
Back on track just for a second. Evan, you put a statistic out that actually bears out what Ryan's saying. And you talked about it last week somewhere or other. You were talking about how many CEOs don't think that security is an issue or whatever it was. And to some degree, I think that bears out what Ryan's saying. No matter 10, 20, 30 years of us jumping up and down and screaming, that number was still pretty fucking high.
55%.
Yeah. That's... Did they break it down at all? Or was that 50? Because I hope, famous last words, I would hope that none of the Fortune 100, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000s are in that 55%. My hope is that they are maybe smaller organizations that haven't gotten around to it yet. But I don't know. Did they break it down in any way, shape, or form?
I didn't see that, but I can try to find more data.
I'd be really intrigued because that scares me.
But there's also CEOs give lip service too, right? I mean, how many would tell you the truth anyway? I mean, there's
fair comment.
Yeah, I mean, actions speak louder than words. My wife is like the queen of that, right? I'll say something and she's like, that's not what you're doing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a really good point. At which point, yeah, so maybe the Fortune 100s and 1000s are in there, let's be honest. Yeah, all right, take that back. Good point.
Well, and they justify just like everybody else, right? The same thing happened with the state of Minnesota, well, we spend, $20 million on security. And I'm like, for what? What are you getting for that? Because if you spend, so think about it. If I spend $20 million on information security, on ineffective controls, is it better that I didn't spend anything at all? I mean, I'd rather not spend anything at all, not have this false sense of security versus spend $20 million, have a false sense of security and piss away $20 million.
So that's an interesting one. People equate how much money they spend with how secure they should be.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Yeah, I mean, we've had it a bunch of times. I've seen it too often because I spent this much. Well, congratulations. Number one, did you spend it wisely? Number two, did you integrate it? Number three, have you kept up with it? And I can keep giving on the list. So I honestly don't actually care what you've really spent. But,
Well, how do you justify it? Right. So you spent $20 million. That's great. What's it justified on? On what? And
if it's done properly, it's
was
done
it
on.
the
Go on,
was it
sorry.
the last, talk I heard Chris Roberts give about,
Yeah.
that might have been a good thing to buy, but it was it the thing to buy? I don't think you know that.
Probably not. Yeah, let's face it. Because again, this is again where it can't just be one person's opinion. There's some interesting stuff out there. I'm actually trying to find it. I actually sent some stuff off to Joseph. There we go.
Well, and this is what we're trying to do with states, right? It's like a level playing field.
Yeah.
One thing, right? Let it determine where to spend the next dollar. And then you get this thing, but they poke holes in it and everything. You're looking for something that's perfect that doesn't exist. So stop looking for that. Look for something that we can all use that's workable, and then we can improve it. It's a maturity process, just like anything else, right? I was just writing about how file permissions. How do you inventory and secure file permissions? Well, start with an inventory of file permissions, right?
Yeah.
Get a list of file permissions. Step one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then you mature it from there. Step two, maybe it's give a description of what those file permissions are. Step three, where the fuck are they? Step four. I mean, you got like 20 steps you're going to have to get through before you figure out who has access to what.
Right.
But that's where everybody goes right away. It's like, well, I need to know who has access to what. Well, then you fucking get overwhelmed. You don't build the process in place to sustain it.
Yeah.
So you do it that one time, and then it all falls apart 2 months later or 2 weeks later because you never.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's not static. That's the other thing that I think I see all too often is the idea that there's a magic number of steps I can take and then I'm done. I'm secure. And I think that's based on that digital physical disconnect. To secure my house is very straightforward, and the door is either locked or it's not. And I think people think that, but they forget that burglars exist.
Right.
And they forget that the burglar never comes through a locked door. They come through a window because it's way easier, right?
Right.
But I think part of that is there's still this desire to lock it up, and then we're good, right? It's locked up, so we're good. We're secure.
When everybody's looking for a fucking easy button, everybody is, instant gratification. I want that shit and I want it now. Yep. I don't want to work for it. Where's my easy button? Where's the thing I can buy that's going to make this thing go away? As opposed to, it takes fucking work. Work. That's how you do this. What I mean? An inventory takes work, right? You can get tools to supplement and make things faster, do whatever, but you still have to do some fucking work. And people don't like to work, not like they used to, man.
Well, it's okay. So back to the other part of it, Ryan. I mean, you both said it. It's not just do the work; it's continue to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. I'm looking at the house. So when we first moved into this house, it hadn't been maintained for probably about 15 years. So there was a lot of stuff, a lot of heavy lifting. This last week. And last week and this week, we had the plumbers in to go around the place, do a couple of ups and downs and changes and look around the place. Because we have one of these instant heater water things, we've actually had to go in and get some service work done. I'm like, guys, while you're doing that, do me a favor, do some checks around this. I got the roofing guys coming in, Jen's got the roofing guys coming in like 2 weeks' time. They're going to do a full roof inspection, first time in 4 years. And the sprinkler, maintenance on a house is an ongoing thing. The electrician came in about a month ago and went through the place, changed out a few things, and just basically tidied it all up. It's like the garden. It's like you get somebody in and they shrubbery and they make it look pretty, and that way it stays working order, it stays effective, things continue to happen, the shit doesn't break down because you haven't been paying attention to it. Now, whether I pay somebody to do it or I do it myself, completely different discussion. But it's the same thing, exactly what you're saying, Evan. Great, you go off, you do your audit, you do your asset management, you understand what inventory you have. Great, that's today. Tomorrow, you open up BYOD. Great, you just doubled the amount of assets. The week afterwards, some bright spot goes to Best Buy and buy stuff. And so it is that continual update and maintenance and checks and balances. And in the digital world, it moves a lot faster than my roof meeting to be looked at every 4 years. Let's be honest.
Right. And even, and then take an inventory too, like a company, let's say they have nothing and they want, they don't do this because it looks so overwhelming. Well, it's steps, right? Step. It takes time. It may take 5 years. It may take 10 years.
Right.
And you'll never be perfect, right? So your inventory, trying to shoot for that 100% inventory, that's not reality, right? What I'm looking for is somewhere like 90, 95, 98%, something. But if you don't take those steps, because we get that all the time too, like you'll give a score, let's say you get an S2 score of like a 425, right? And you take that to the board, take that to the CEO, take that to whoever, and they're like, we need to be a 660 next quarter. No, you can't. You can, but you just pissed away all your fucking money because you didn't put all those steps in place to sustain it.
Right.
That takes time. And to your point too, Ryan, about, this hygiene for kids, people are creatures of habit, right? Hygiene is a habit. I get up every morning, I take a shower. It's a habit, right? And so it's that constant.
Well, this is why when I consult with folks, the very first thing I tell them is we're about to embark on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a journey. And what step one of this journey on this mountain climb we're about to embark on is getting us to base camp. And it's going to take a lot of time for us to get to base camp, depending on how far in the distance the mountain is. Mm-hmm. The other way I talk about it is about getting to the start line to begin the journey. And that's how I treat the fundamentals. That's how I treat the basic beginning processes that you need to have in place to ensure that the step you just took stays updated, right? So, okay, we map critical assets. Cool. Now, what's the cadence for going back and doing that? We need to build that in. We need to build it into process, and we need to build it into our calendar. Next step, build it into process, build it into the calendar. Next step, right? And I've worked with clients for three years before we got to a point where I said, cool, now we can start the mountain climb.
Right.
All this work we've done was literally just to get the mountain closer into view so that we could actually figure out, is it ice covered? Do we need pickaxes to climb it? Is there a nice little trail we can go? Like, what are we working with here?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, man, because what people don't realize is that's defensible. The journey is defensible.
Mm.
Yep. If you're a 450 and you want to go to a 660 next quarter, it's all going to fall apart. You're going to waste your time. But if you go from a 450 to a 455 in the next quarter, that's defensible. That's progress, right? You can defend that. It's funny because I remember one presentation I gave to a really, really big law firm, and it was, and they had a shitty score. And one of the lawyers says, well, great. Now now we're going to be liable. And the other lawyer, because it was cool to watch them play this out, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not talking about law shit here. You guys are all going to make me feel stupid. So, but the other lawyer said, no, all we have to do is make progress, and we can defend ourselves. So it was cool to hear that, because that's the way I always thought it worked.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Make progress, man.
Progress.
And what's also not defensible is ignorance.
Yeah.
Risk ignorance is not defensible. I don't think. I don't know. I wouldn't want to defend it.
Well, actually, this goes back to the original topic idea, which was somebody put it in the LinkedIn post was, when I do go and tell you your fly's down, you kind of want to know because you're exposed, yada, yada, yada. But if I go tell you that, hey, I see some of your data where it shouldn't be, at that point in time, I've made you aware of a problem that you were previously unaware of. And now you have a fiduciary duty to do something about it. Whereas before, in your own mind, you had a defensible position of ignorance because you just didn't know it was out there. That is a huge fallacy, I think, especially as the way we look at things these days.
In 1992, ignorance was a valid defense for this.
Mhm.
In
Right.
92. Okay. In 2021, no. No. Just like in 1920, not knowing the person was going to turn in front of you and then getting into a car accident, ignorance of driving,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Was not now.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think we've been here so many times before. Ooh, that was pretty Minnesota. So many.
Oh, my thanks.
Just up north there.
Got some lutefisk.
Oh yeah, real good.
Lutefisk,
Bring over to hot
All right.
dish.
While you guys
Yeah.
are swirling,
Lutefisk.
I'm getting some more bloody water. Like,
But I
water.
think we've hit that time period where,
Why is he getting bloody water? Why don't you just get regular water? What the hell?
well, because bloody water's better, right?
It's gross. You get some disease from that shit. Don't make no sense at all.
Oh,
Well, it's funny, man, because last week too, you always every meeting you learn shit. 30 years into this industry, and you're still like, it's interesting that you mentioned that. But in the meeting, the Blue Ribbon Commission meeting last Friday, they're pushing zero trust, not me. And Accenture, had zero trust, and the CISO from the state of Minnesota had a really legitimate question. He said, "Well, where do we start for zero trust?" Right? And this guy was like, "Well, and he kind of skirted around that issue.
right.
Well, and being that I was the last guy giving my presentation, I hurried up and added a slide. I'm like, zero trust, where do you start? I want to hit that. So when I got up to it, I was like, zero trust. Okay, where do you start? Well, it's an intimate understanding of you, right?
Yep.
So you have to have a detailed asset inventory of hardware, every bit of hardware, right? Software, every application. You need to know where your data is going. You need to have data flow diagrams. I mean, all that shit that we've been preaching as a foundational, fundamental component of your security program for like ever, got to do it. So
All of it.
Yeah, please
All
go
the
zero
time.
trust.
Well, it's like riding a motorcycle. All the
Don't
gear, all the
Don't go
time.
buy a fucking CrowdStrike thing and just install that and say, all right, we're zero trust. That's not how it works,
But they tell me that's what it'll do.
right?
They tell me. I mean, that's what the marketing guys are telling. That's what I'm being told. I can go and install this, and I'm protected, and I am on the pathway to zero trust, or whatever the hell the
Right.
zero is these days.
This is the golden age, though, for consulting companies that actually understand zero trust. Because if you really want to do zero trust, it's a fuckload of work. It's a fuckload of hours.
Yeah.
Billable. But you're making and those aren't shitty, shitty hours. They're not bad hours. They're good hours where now we can finally do the fundamentals. The challenge is going to be, how many consultants are we going to have in our industry that are going to do it shitty, that aren't going to stand up and say, well, yeah, I know you don't want to do an asset inventory, but shit, you got to do it. I mean, that's how zero trust works.
So how much is it us dealing with this? How much of our industry is us dealing with this? If you've been in this game long enough, you've seen this.
Oh my God. You know what? I actually haven't seen this. It's been
You
a while.
haven't?
No. I haven't seen this in a while. It's actually been a while since I've seen it.
I mean, I'm thinking about redoing the captions here, because
It's probably been a few years since I've seen this. I hadn't seen the Ice Wing. The Ice Wing is a new one to me. This is updated.
7 is my favorite.
Oh, geez. No shit. This has been updated since I've seen it. I have definitely seen. I haven't seen the customer's build. I haven't seen that one.
9 is awesome too. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is more thorough than I have seen. I've seen bits of it. I think we've all seen like 1, 2, 3.
That's perfect, man.
And a few of the others.
But I feel like this is our industry.
Oh, it is.
I feel like,
well, in some cases.
Not all, obviously. I'm not making like overly blanket there, but you know, it's what the customer wants, at least from my understanding of talking to folks, is fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Tell me what to do. So to reinforce Evan's point, consulting companies that are brave enough to get into the specifics and get into the weeds and quit with these generalities and options. We're giving people options for problems they don't understand and saying, no, you choose. You choose. Asset inventory, how you do it, when you do it, where, no, just do it. And that's why Evan's getting questions like, where do we start? So great. I heard you say to do it. Where do we start doing it? Well, you know, we've got a lot of choices.
Right.
No, you don't.
Human beings do not do good with that, by the way. I don't know if you guys know how our track record is, but you give people too many options and they choose none.
Right.
It's true. That's their default. Their default is ignorance. You wonder why I have so much trouble talking to normal people about security stuff, because we made it so fucking complicated. They tune out. They're like, yep. Okay, good luck with that. Thanks.
But again, so let's go back to our industry for a second. Evan comes to the market and says, hey, I got a really good product. Ryan, you come to the market and go, shit, I've got an amazing product. I come to the market, I look at the pair of you and go, well, fuck. My product's got sunshine out of its ass. Evan, the following year, goes, well, shit, I got to do better than that. Not only is the sun shining on my ass, but you can tune the sun to work 8 hours a day. Ryan, the following year, go, you can have the sun in whatever shade of these 10 colors you want. And then I turn up with my 2018 Mercedes and it goes, hey, you can have 26 different fucking colors and you can have 4 different shades. And I go, fuck, if I want that, I'm going back to Evan's first one. That's our industry. And we do this continually. And I had a conversation about this 2 nights ago when I got, 3 or 4 nights ago, when I got asked, what do we want to focus on next year? That was the question that was asked of me by a certain individual in the engineering team. I got asked, what do we want to focus on next year? My answer was, so we have some interesting stuff on the augmentation platform. I'm like, make that better, give me better integration, make the things that we have work more effectively. And he's like, well, we're really thinking about doing this and this and this. And I'm like, why? Well, because competition's doing it. I don't care. Well, we need to be able to demonstrate this. We need our customers to understand that we have this. I'm like, why can't we give our customers a product that doesn't have so many bugs? Why can't we give our customers a product that does what it says on the box, which it kind of does for the most part, but outperforms? So we get to a point where we over-deliver. We've under-promised and we've over-delivered. Why can't we do that? Well, because we have to give these additional things. I'm like, no, we don't. We don't have to do that. Who's driving you? And that's and this is the problem with our industry.
Because they're all chasing the same segment of business.
Yeah.
They all want the multi-million-dollar, multi-year contract. And there's only a handful of those out there. So they keep chasing it. And why do we focus on not that segment?
Yeah.
Because SMB is ignored, school is ignored, government is, unless you're trying to get that defense contract, right? Mostly in local government, nobody cares about local government. I don't care about that. Not that, so I'm not going to make my lion's share of money there. I want to get that homeland contract, right? So I see that all the time.
Right. And what we're trying to do, I mean, that keeps us honest from that, obviously, is our mission, but then it's make this a commodity, right? So like an egg, right? I'm not shopping around. I mean, some people do, but they're weird. But an egg's an egg, right? It's a commodity. It's, so these basics, these fundamental things, we need to drive them to a commodity. It's just, so then I have more money to spend. But it would also tell me, I mean, if you made this piece a commodity, it would also hold the other pieces more accountable, right? I don't need a DLP right now, or I don't need, whatever. So, I mean, that's the dream.
We don't need most of what we've got out there. We're not using. I mean, you guys see the same thing I see.
Yeah, I
Which is
see
walk into
tools
an
going
organization.
misused and unused.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we bought that because. What are you doing with it? Well, okay. We bought this. Well, hang on. You got that over there already. So
It's so bad we have a special term for it. Shelfware.
I know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, do you know how much you have to, how much that has to happen? That's like a warning label. Do you know how many times something has to go wrong before they create a warning label?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
When they've got, a lot of times you'll find dual function, you'll find crossover. Like you've got 3 tools that can do the same fucking thing.
yeah.
But I like the interface on this one better for this, and the interface on that one better for that. The interface on
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or what's happened is, and I've seen this, and oh God, I was so pissed because I mean, like, you don't have a problem outside of the company. You got a fucking problem in your own teams. I'm pretty sure that's about how I delivered it.
Oh, I've got a credit card, so I just went ahead and bought it.
Yeah. Well, not only have I got a credit card and I went ahead and bought it, but the network team wanted this. And so not only did they go and buy that, but we don't like them anymore because of this, and they didn't take us. So we went off and bought something else.
Mhm.
And then the development team were like, well, fuck you all. We're going to need to do this. And we want to measure that. Y'all are pissing away. Number one, you're pissing away your bonuses. But number two, last I checked, you all work for the same fucking company. So you all want to get on the same damn page for a change. And I'm happy to help you knock heads together. I'm like, good God's alive,
Well, that's because
fucking
our
grow up,
well, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us in IT and all its various segments still think they work for IT. And they don't think they work for the business. That's inherent problem number one. They think they work for IT, or they work for security, or they work for development, or whatever.
You know what? The thing that pissed me off too, because I for so long, I'm like, information security. We were making progress in getting it out of IT, believe it or not, over the years. And then we come up with this stupid fucking marketing salesy name, cyber security, which cyber is over pertaining to computers. So just the fucking definition of that word makes it an IT thing again. It's like, fuck, what the hell? And now they're so lazy. We're so lazy to like, cyber security isn't sexy enough. So I'm just going to call it cyber. What?
I don't know.
It's like, it's too many syllables now. Now syllables are hard for me to.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, again, go back to this. Evan, you come up with cybersecurity. Ryan comes up with cyber. I got to go find something new. And not that I'm saying I'm having to.
Let's just call it Psy.
Oh,
give it time. Give it time.
Let's do it now. Fuck.
We just changed the definition right here on the fly. I like it.
Guys,
let's get there before they do.
The organization that I might currently hang out with in the first syllable.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
It's two syllables. It's Psy net. Too many syllables.
True. Yeah.
One syllable. I got to be able to grunt it.
They're rebranding. I don't know what it looks like. They're actually not showing me at the moment. That's
okay. Just a sideline for a second. While we're at it, can we fucking reduce the number of shared acronyms, please?
Hang on, reduce the number of shared acronyms, or can we actually consolidate acronyms?
Well, I'd like to do probably both, but I'll pick on IP for an example.
All right.
Yep.
So, which one of the 800 variations are you using? Right? Because I don't know. We could be talking about IP. We could be talking about IPs. We could be talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
IP, yeah.
And the way we just throw these acronyms around, like, and we assume everybody's on the same page about what we're talking about. I don't know. But our lexicon is awful.
So this comes
intellectual property.
Well, okay, I'll give you
Internet
this.
Protocol version 4.
or 6, right? But we're talking about
Yeah,
the
fuck
other
6,
night.
it's never gonna happen.
Other night, I'm teaching the CISSP mentor class, and the amount of $50
You mean the certified information security
fucking words,
professional?
just that's the certified information systems security professional. The amount of $50 words that I have to spit out, slide after slide, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so exhausting. These words are huge,
right? And like
and
when
they
you
don't
get to
convey the concept clearly.
Yeah.
When you get to like DRP and BIA, right? And you start talking about MTD and MAD, and they're the same things, and you're like, what? Yeah, they're confused as shit.
Well, not just that, but I just mean in general, when we talk about some of this technology stuff, we talk about it in the, sciencey terms when we're trying to convey an idea, and we don't do a good job, at least I haven't seen many people do a good job of reframing that in a context that makes sense, which is why I think marketing gets away with what they get away with, because somebody will come in, they'll bring the sales engineer and he'll say techie words, and then the sales guy goes, no, what he's really saying is.
Well, and how often have you caught somebody using a whole bunch of tech words because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about? They just, they get asked a question, and they're like, well, blah, blah, blah. They just go off, and I'm like, what you said just didn't make any fucking sense at all.
I just posted something to you guys in the chat on here. I've got a 3-hour meeting to go to next week. And the proposed agenda, the opening one is lead gen, which I get. I'm on some lead gen, digital, LK, PPC, FB, ABM.
Okay.
I like PPC
ABM.
is
They make good
I'm
stuff.
assuming might be LinkedIn. I don't know. PPC.
pay-per-click.
Oh, there we go. FB, Facebook.
Facebook.
I didn't know we had fucking Facebook accounts. ABM, annual beverage meeting.
Assholes, buttholes, and
Money.
Ads before money. Ads before money. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna show up.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. But I do admire people because we're hiring a chief revenue officer, and so I met him today. And and you, Brian, you were there. The first thing he asked me was, "Tell me about your culture and your mission."
Yep.
And I was like, "All right, that's awesome. You're starting off right with me." So I told him, and he's like, "The reason why that's really important is because I need to make sure that I stay within those boundaries and align with that." And it was just like, "Wow, all right, fuck. How much do you cost? We'll do this."
Oh, yeah. Let's say account-based marketing. I'm glad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's
what is it? What is it?
It's account-based marketing. It's the new marketing model. So you have a traditional way to approach sales, and then there's an account-based way. This is a new methodology. I've actually had to study up on this one.
How the fuck do you know this?
Because I run a fucking business, so I have to know some of this shit.
But I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. No. It's all gonna make sense in a second, I promise. So here, let me pull this up for you. You're gonna love it.
Okay, then,
go,
all right.
oh, that makes sense.
What the hell is LK, PPC, FB, and ABM? I'm gonna just post it into there. I got no clue what I'm going into this meeting for. It's just
Okay.
So did you?
Here we go. All right, Chris, you're gonna understand ABM perfectly in seconds. Ready? Traditional marketing: attract, nurture, and close. Account-based: identify, engage, land, and expand. So the idea is to build a relationship. Another way to say this is relationship-based sales, and this is traditional in-your-face. Hey, it's sexy, it's shiny, it's got AI lasers, you want it. Oh, I think I might like it. Oh, well, let's have some conversations that nudge you towards giving me money. This approach is you find out who you want to go after, you then go after them and build a relationship, which then ultimately should land you some business. And once you get some business, you grow that business.
Can I boil this
That's
down?
what I do. I do the ABM thing, man.
Let me just boil this down into 2 words. Left-hand side tactical, right-hand side strategic.
That's another way to look at it, except that the left-hand side is starting to be not effective.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good sign because the right-hand side looks like it requires a relationship.
It
European.
does.
It's the European way. It's the European. Well, it's the European way of, hey, I actually want to know who the fuck you are
Yep.
before we engage. This is not a vendor thing. We are a partner. I actually want to understand, know, learn, because I might not even actually want to sell you something because you might be an arsehole, and I'm sorry, but good luck, goodbye. You can go deal with Dark Trace or whatever. You
I
know?
like the
Here's
ABM
another
thing.
way to look at it.
Yeah.
Attract leads, personalize and engage, score leads. Identify the accounts, personalize and engage, land and expand the relationship.
Yeah, I like ABM better.
Yeah, it's interesting. Left hand send spam, perfect. So apparently there's a strategic shift that we're going to be discussing now. So I'm really looking. And what's interesting is it's a sub bullet point of a sub bullet point. So I'm not entirely certain how much
Well, but
airspace is going to be given.
if it's a relationship, you don't lie in relationships, right? That's how you destroy relationships. So they better learn how to tell the fucking truth.
Everybody else is lying. I mean, everybody else is lying. I mean, why can't I lie? I should be allowed to lie. Everybody else is lying.
How much do we see that too, man? You see that shit in like on politics and on Twitter, you know, like you see something that's clearly like wrong. Whatever that person did was wrong. I don't know who they are. I don't know their background. I don't know anything else. I just know that what I just saw on this video is wrong.
Yeah.
And then you see the justifications, you know, people below it like, well, but you know, what about this? And they change the subject and all this other shit. And it's like, so you're condoning clearly wrong behavior and you're justifying it with more wrong behavior. What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, ugh. So
wasn't there an old parenting idiom that says, if your friend jumps off a bridge, would you do it too? I was pretty sure that was like standard issue parent idiom for my generation. And when was the bridge invented?
Right.
Yeah,
or two rights don't make a wrong. I mean,
all of that stuff. And I actually haven't reconciled. You know how sometimes you get into a conversation, and I've had it happen a couple of times to me in a relationship where literally everything else around you has just disappeared. And there's
like
that kind of weird tunnel vision thing where you understand the consequences of what's happening to such an intimate detail that like everything else is just gone. That was that part of the conversation that we had for like 5 minutes about that, and me trying to explain that side of it, and that's what it felt like. And I'm like, this isn't good. And I haven't had a chance to figure this. We'll probably end up talking about it next.
Well, okay, so here's my take on that. So we're gonna role play. So this would never happen in reality, but we're gonna role play. Okay. Evan says the same thing to me. I'm forced to look at Evan and say, well, I want to support the company's desire to do this. Unfortunately, my personal brand would be put in jeopardy, and I'm unable to risk my brand that I've worked very fucking hard to build for this. And so if that means that we're now at an impasse, then we're at an impasse, because I can't, while I work for and with, I still have to honor my own sovereignty, and I have to honor the fact that I have a reputation for being and having integrity, for being the guy to say things that maybe other people don't want to say, or being willing to work with folks. I remember the first time somebody found out I told the school that they didn't have to do certain things right now because it didn't make sense right now. My God, you're not giving them good security advice. They And I said, they don't even know what is going on. They don't even know who's doing what or anything. So yeah, I know it's going to take them 8 months to do something that a corporation could get done in 8 days.
Yeah.
Well, they're at risk. Yeah, but no more so than they were before I showed up, and at least now they're defensible.
Right, exactly.
right? But it's I don't know, that's that personal integrity piece. I think there's part of that too, that, you know, they don't, that's cool that you guys think that way. However,
Yeah, well, that was the conversation I tried having with them. I'm like, are you having this conversation with me because you believe that because of my background, because of what I've done in the past, and because of my security, and because I'm a hacker, that I'm ethically slash morally challenged, and I'll be fine with this? Because if that's the case, we need to have a conversation about that hacker word, because that hacker word means I've got more morals and fucking scruples than probably most others, because I know what is possible, capable, and honestly, I know how to pull the fucking trigger in the physical and the digital world, and guess what? I don't too often. And so, you know, and I'm trying to explain this to them, and it just, yeah, it was one of those weird like Tamil conversations, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just anyway, we digress. So at least we now know what ABM is. That'd be cool. Actually,
I like it.
that could be an interesting part of the conversation. And it's sub bullet point.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, it's funny how we compromise. You know, there's a because I've seen this happen to a lot of friends too, and I've seen it happen to a lot of companies. I've seen it happen a lot of places. You make just these little compromises, right? At the time, they seem so inconsequential, so insignificant.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it just took you just a little bit off the path, right? Just a little white lie. Nobody's going to care. It's okay. You know, whatever. You justify it. Get on with your life. Months go by. You do another one. Make a little compromise. And then, you know, you just continue down this path. And then eventually you find yourself a mile and a half off the path.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dawns on you, how the fuck did I get here? Why am I such a sellout? Why do I feel like shit? Why does everybody hate me? Whatever.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you made all those little compromises. It wasn't one big one. People don't do it that way.
Right.
You know, so when you tell a lie, it's just the beginning. There's more.
I mean, yeah, Ryan, I think I didn't use it that way, but I think your way, although I know, playing it out in my head, I know exactly what their answer is going to be, but it is what it is. But I think it's probably the better way of approaching it.
I have a counter. I have a counter for their response that I'm pretty sure I also know what popped into your head there.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Go for it.
The more my brand is eroded, the less valuable it is to the organization.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah.
My integrity is part of why people take my phone calls.
Right. Well,
let's not call that into question, or they might stop taking my phone calls. And that serves as a disservice to what you're trying to use my position, my relationships, et cetera, for business reasons, obviously. And we all do it. That's just the way business works. But because you're trying to leverage that, we actually have to take extra care to ensure that that remains intact so that it has the maximum value potential possible.
Well, that's so I found out some stuff again this week. It's been a fun week this week. We started doing the VCSO clinics, and I had a vision of how I wanted them to work and doing them the way, and all these other kind of cool things. Just basically sitting down for half an hour and hanging out with somebody and having a conversation. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I then got to see some of the behind the scenes stuff that I wasn't privy to, that I then saw about how they want to not just pre-qualify people, the questions they want to go through them, where they want to put them in the marketing scheme, and then after the conversations have happened, how they want to take the intelligence and information from that, which is going to be interesting because they're not recorded. So I'm not sure how they're going to get that information, how they're going to take that information and intelligence for that, and then just target market them. And I'm like, that wasn't quite not quite in the spirit. And they're like, well, that's okay. I mean, that's, you keep doing your thing. I'm like, we're going to have a conversation about this. Again, going back to the origins of this series of tonight, and then the origins of tonight, why we can't, I think, in the digital world, knock on the door and say, hey, is because so much of this has happened, and so many organizations have gotten to that cynical part where they're like, you don't just want to tell me my flies are up, you're wanting to tell me my flies are up, hold me ransomware for that, probably sell me 10 things at the same time, and potentially leave me in the worse place than I was when my damn flies were down. And
Worse than that.
We get that shit all the fucking time.
Well, and I think that's part of it. I think that's to me, I think that's part of the reason we can't do research, is because a lot of us want to just help. A lot of us want to do research and go, hey, there's some really freaking cool things. I love what you're doing. However, can I help you to see it through my eyes and help you understand, maybe if you put it out there, what in the hell's name's going to happen? I'm not going to come at you and go, hey, now I need you to buy my services. And I just, do me a favor. I just want to hang out with you for an hour with a cup of coffee and a whiteboard. And that's it. I'll leave you in peace and quiet, but at least I've done what I can to give you a view through my eyes. And that's really all I want to do.
Yeah, we fight against that all the time, don't we? I mean, when people hear about that, like just our one, our free stuff, right? S2Me.
Yeah.
Like, well, how are you going to make money? I'm like,
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that. We'll make money. Well, what's the catch? I'm like, okay, here's the way we make money. We make money in all these other places, which are completely unrelated to what it is I'm talking to you about. Yeah. I'm doing this because I fucking care,
Well, I mean, and so, and that's it, is like, I'd love to do the research and hand it. And yeah, if you want to have a conversation and we want to engage, totally cool. I'm totally up for that one. Yeah, I'm up for hanging out. I'm up for figuring out what it would take, get paid for it. Brilliant. But here's stuff. Enjoy, have at it. Good luck. Do me a big favor though. Do something about it. Maybe my one caveat, and more often than not, and there's an airline organization, a few others would have experienced this. It's like, look, please just do something with it. Learn from it. Change it. Would I love to be involved in? Absolutely. Do I at least want to know that you've done something about it? Kind of, yeah. Morally, I'd really rather you do something with it, and then just leave it at that. So that's the frustration, I think.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. Yeah, we run into that. I mean, I remember that one of the calls we had with you, where one of our researchers came across, some Bitly stuff, right? And we were talking about, and he found he probably found, I don't know, 100 or so breaches in this vulnerability. And it's like, well, how do I go and tell these people? And so I was like, well, yeah, we talked about it, he and I, because I can tell you the way I've done it before, but I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a weird one because you've got so many and, kind of a single source.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's talk to Chris. So then we had that conversation with you. And yeah, there were a lot of people that we contacted that were militant towards us. And there were a lot of people that they eventually realized, because it's like, look at our track record. I mean, look at my track record. There's no other hand, there's only two. And they're both, in front of you right now. But and then some people just ignored us completely. And then others, embraced it. They're like, hey, thank you. We didn't realize that this was a thing, but it's weird.
And I think that's, everything that we've been talking about, I think plays into those conversations, plays into that. It is that we give with one hand and we take with the other, unfortunately. Whereas I think in real life, your door's open. I just want to tell you, your door's open. That's it. I'm not looking for anything out of it. Just your door's open. Do me a favor. Please just lock it or close it or do something. But at least I've made you aware, and I think that's.
Well, the problem is too many times we come in and said, your fly's open, give us the pants real quick while we fix it. And then we hand you back the same pair of pants and the fly's still down.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it starts, back at the a lot of the OS stuff, right? You give me this OS and I gotta fix it. Can you imagine if an operating system was your car? Oh wait, Chris, you're living that. Never mind.
Screw you.
Yeah, some cars are an operating system, right?
Oh man, am I ever.
Got so many fucking electronics in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a small to medium business. Every single car. I mean, the current Merc has got 100
more freaking cabling. There's more cabling in your car than was in the Apollo mission. Okay.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, that's, yeah, it's what is it? And again, you know, you throw the crystal ball out 5 years and you start looking at how, from a quasi semi-autonomous standpoint with vehicles, we could do much better. We could do much better traffic management if we got it right. Our ability to move humans more effectively, our ability to
There would
react,
never be a traffic jam.
Ever.
our ability to react as well. So this is, you know, we talked about this a little bit. I think we talked about this the other week when I was talking about what I would love to do is build my little device and put it onto every single first responder vehicle. Because at the moment, if I want a vehicle, I watched it 2 days ago, pissed me off. Oh, you know, freaking first responder vehicles trying to get through a bunch of traffic. 90% of the people get out of the way. 10% of the people have no fucking clue what's going on. If you had a semi-autonomous level 3, level 4 vehicle, it's like, oh, something's approaching from the rear, get the fuck out of the way automatically. You know, or in the case of what I want to build is it's an app that's got a geofencing thing and you know where it's going and it just yells at you, get the fuck out of the way. You know, truck coming from the rear, you know, whatever. But just something like that, you know, where the hell were we going? I don't know where the hell we were going.
Just hijack the radio. Boom.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that ain't hard to do. Yeah.
I think what we're saying is we need more. I think you can undo some of this stuff too. I think we need more, I don't know, cyber good Samaritans or whatever you want to call them, you know,
Yeah.
people that are really, you know, we ran into this last night, Ryan, in that conversation with the dude that was all over Jack Hewitt's ass.
He's
You know,
not on LinkedIn anymore, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I mean, he
What's
called,
happened?
well, the point is too, I mean, if you're going to call somebody bullshit, you better damn well make sure that you're calling the right thing bullshit, right? You gotta
I
get
was
your
not proud of my response per se, because I generally try not to blow my stack, but I got pretty pissed about that because what are you doing? Like, you kind of almost, I took it a little more personal.
that
than
dude
I
really not on
probably should
LinkedIn
have.
anymore? Did we scare him away? We shouldn't have done that.
I know, and I do feel bad about it, and I hence went back and deleted said comment because I felt terrible about it, right? I did not show up as my best self. I was not making excuses. I shouldn't have done it, but I did it.
I'm gonna go find him and invite him back.
But as of this morning, I went to go message him to say, hey, you know, sorry, I didn't show up my best self. And
Yeah, I had to do that last.
I had some people check, so I know he's not there because I had other people look that wouldn't have been, you know, if in case I was like blocked or something.
It's
He is gone. Damn. Okay. Because I had made peace with him. Because, you know, here was the deal, right? You have a person who genuinely, and I know Jack,
Yep.
good man, in it for the right reasons, just
Talked to him several times. Yeah.
genuine, right? And
Yep.
you know, and he's like, you know, he's in cybersecurity, he wants to get into cybersecurity because he wants to help people. And then you got this other person who's like, bullshit. You're in this because you want the money. Everybody's in this because you want the money. People say they want to, you know, help people, but they're in it for the money. It's like, no. So then he kind of did this call out to me, you, Chris, you know, like, hey, you know, and which I think is great because he wasn't doing the call out to, like, I think, get this guy off of LinkedIn. It was more like, give me some support, right? Because this is somebody, Jack is not, he's not, he hasn't,
yeah.
He doesn't have his first cybersecurity job yet, right? You know, so it's like, you know, am I wrong? Or am I, you know, whatever. And so, you know, we come to kind of his defense. No, absolutely, man. I mean, I am absolutely 100% in this to help people. I don't give a fuck about money. I do get paid. Great. Not the reason I'm here. It's never been the reason I'm here.
The other thing,
And people call you bullshit, you know, call bullshit all you want. Look at the fuck I'm doing. You know, I have to get paid because I have to pay employees. I have to get paid because I'm fat and I eat a lot, you know, and I ride Harleys and shit. But beyond that,
I have to get paid because the damn things leak all over the place. They're better than a damn Mercedes.
No, that was in the 80s, man. That they fixed that. But but you know, you come to the defense of, because here is a cyber good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Jack, me, you, Chris, many others. There's lots of us out there, right? We're not all in this just for the money. We need to get money. We need to get paid. We have dreams. We have retirements. We have things that we like. Nothing wrong with that. Where it becomes wrong is I put the money ahead of the other thing, because then it's easy. I'm easily a sellout.
Yeah.
Right.
I can be bought off. Give me a couple $1 million and I'll do whatever the fuck you want. You want me to attack somebody? I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Somebody like me,
Right.
there's no price tag.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
Well, and it's not worth it anyways.
Right.
It's not worth it anyways. It's not.
That was.
I think a lot of people do have a price tag, right? You know,
They do, but because they don't yet understand that there is no amount of money that fills that hole that you're trying to fill. There's no amount of goods you can buy. That's what it is.
Price tag. I have a price tag, but I also know nobody's ever going to meet it. That's easy. Well, actually, it's not even a huge price tag. I just know nobody's ever going to come to the table with it. So it's
Well,
easy.
sure, yeah. If you were to give me all the Bezos money, and I had to do something unscrupulous to get that, I might. But then I'm going to turn around and take that money and solve hunger, homelessness.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yep. So to me, I guess for that brief moment, the unscrupulousness would be justified by the overall benefit of the outcome. But even then, I'd still feel sick about it.
Yeah.
And it's something I told Evan early on. I said, my whole life, people have told me to sell shit. Yeah. I said, man, you can sell stuff. The way you can make relationships and shit. Oh, you should sell. I said, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Right.
Then I get here, and for the first time in my adult, career of being in that, position where I had those opportunities, I'm actually okay selling it because I can back it up and believe in it and look in the mirror at the end of the day and know that I can feel good about how I went about selling it, about what it was I was selling, about the value that they get from it. Right. I'm not just selling them a Chinese finger trap and then laughing when they get stuck and going, hey, so scissors, I got them.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't use them because you're stuck. So I'll cut it for you, but it's going to be this much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what every other opportunity I ever had for selling was we've got some slick shit. We grease the watermelon, pass it to them. And then when they can't hang on to it, well, we got something else to sell them for that.
Yeah.
And
mine's simple. It's a Ferrari F40 and get the X paid off. And I know damn well that'll never happen. It's easy. That's fine.
You don't have to sell off. You don't have to sell out for that.
I won't have to, and I know, but when somebody's like, well, everybody's got a price. Yeah, I am. Put a Ferrari F40 in the driveway, do the X, then maybe we'll have a conversation. Because I know it'll never happen. So it's much.
You gotta up your value a little bit. That ain't quite enough.
Well, that's all the price. I'm like thinking to myself, I might be able to.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No, because I rely on the fact that nobody's gonna call me on it.
You got to be careful what you tell Evan, and when you apply nobody.
No, I know. No, they're expensive. No. Don't you dare do it. They're expensive.
No, but then I'll have me a Chris.
You're gonna get me a Chris for a hell of a lot more reasonable than a Ferrari F40 and the X from hell.
But I've told
F40s have gotten expensive now. They used to not be too bad. When I looked at one, we're going back 10, 15 years ago. When I looked at one, kicked off one of the companies, did some other stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I could put a decent down payment on it.
Shoot higher, Chris. You want a cobalt mine, a silica mine, and a copper mine.
No, I don't need any of that. Too much hassle. Way too much hassle. It's an F40 for crying out loud. They used to be 300-400 for a decent one. Now, I think the cheapest good one I've seen is about 1.9, something like that. So they're 2.5 and change. And and the buggers, and you add another 800 on top of that, and all of a sudden that's a big number to crack. I know it's not a big number to crack, but it's a big number to crack. So no. The conversations will not involve silly numbers like that. So yeah.
No, but I do like, one of the things that's fun about all this, we have a bunch of people that work on this mission together, and they're in this for the right reasons, right? Mm-hmm. The book Start With Why is a great book too. Simon Sinek. Mm-hmm. If you read that, it's about purpose. It's about, because I always feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? I don't look at my checkbook. I have no idea how much money I have. People do that shit. And because they know that if you give me more money, I'm just going to spend it because I don't value it. You know what I mean? If you gave me $100,000 right now, I would just go buy 3 more Harleys.
Ooh, sorry, Brian just put
That's what you need. That 64 GTO. There you go, baby.
Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna say no on that one. I was very fortunate, and I'm gonna say no, and here's why. I've got logic on this one. Here's why. Hang on. I know I'm committing a cardinal sin. Just hold your thought for a second. I've been very fortunate. I've actually been able to wander around one of those, sniff around one of those, lick it, and various other things, and they're amazing. But to me, that's going too far in that direction. I was fortunate many years ago when BMW was helping McLaren develop the F1. I got to drive it because I was seconded to BMW for a variety of reasons. But I ended up getting to drive the McLaren F1, and this is going back before, as it was being released, literally just before it was being released. No, I wouldn't have the La Voce Noire. I wouldn't. Too big, too squirrels. Squid the fucking
These
squirrels.
are insane prices, by the way. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, no,
what in the actual fuck?
Go look up a McLaren F1, either a long tail or a GTR. That's what, if you wanna. So I would have an F1 GTR over a 250.
Okay, so house estimates 23 mil.
That's low. Yeah, 23 to 30, give or take a bit. Yeah, but again, I actually don't have stupid. I would have an F40 or a 288 GTO. An F40 has I was very fortunate. I didn't get to drive one. I got to sit in the passenger seat of one. I've always wanted one of those. They were at one point in time quasi attainable. Now they've gone a little silly, but it was always that vehicle. So the essence of driving, they epitomize the essence of what driving is. It's kind of like my watches. So I love watches. They epitomize the essence of mechanical engineering. For me, the F1 is, it's manual. There's no driver aids. It's you and the machine, and good grief, it is you and the machine. And it's bare carbon. It's bare Kevlar. It's bare everything. It is you and the machine. And
That's cool.
if you screw up, it's going to bite. Play
All right.
nice.
Let's figure out a way to get you one.
All right, quick housekeeping because we are well past the
Oh
hour.
my gosh, how the heck did it get to be this time already?
Gentlemen, we should probably do a quick check-in call early next week just to finalize all the arrangements and yada yada yada. Make sure we're all on page for the event. Yeah, here I go try to get serious. Not with this guy. Right?
All right.
All right. So yeah. So quick check-in on all that. For you guys that want to come, I'm going to throw the survey link in the chat one more time. We'll post it on the Twitter. Evan, that's on you. Here's the link in the chat for you. Post that to the tweeter.
The Twitter machine.
Let us know. Take the survey, please. If you're going to be there, fill out the survey so at least we have some general idea of what we're going to be dealing with from a crowd perspective. Otherwise, I'm super stoked when you guys see us again. We'll look a little different.
The check-in, the reason for the check-in, thinking about it as well, we gotta figure out like food list and stuff like that. I'm gonna need an alcohol list and a tea list and all that kind of good silliness.
Well, I'm gonna grab a rental because I don't trust my vehicle. So I'm gonna get a rental and a trailer and bring the smoker down. And then I'm gonna smoke ribs. So plan it so they won't happen Thursday because I need 6 hours to make them.
Got it.
So plan on Friday. There being some real good ribs. So Evan can attest. He has had my ribs. They are passable.
Let me talk to Jesse.
Yeah, man. They won the championship here.
I said they're passable.
Let me talk with Jesse and figure out whether we bring meat in or whether we pick meat while we're there. I think it'll probably
Yeah, that works. Let me know.
Yeah.
But what I need is St. Louis cut spare rib.
No. Where's the link? Everybody's asking for the link.
I just put it in. Oh, I can't. I'm not the buy. Evan has to do it.
Can you would you mind posting the link in, please?
Are you logged in a shit show? If not, I can swap over and do it.
Just check out my LinkedIn. If not, check out my LinkedIn. It's on my bloody LinkedIn. It was the latest post I did on my LinkedIn today.
Let me go ahead and get that here. Hold on. I gotta type some things into the computer screen.
Check my LinkedIn from today. It's on there. It's on the notes from the LinkedIn today if we can't get it on here.
So Chris Roberts, is that the name?
I don't know, something like that.
Okay. Yep, I find you here. So you do this thing called security, it looks like. It's interesting.
No, not me. Deny everything.
Oh, there I see your links. Who clicks on your
Actually,
links?
you might be able to see something else because you're probably logged in as, yeah.
Do you know that we have logged 200 of the watch time on this crazy thing we do every night or every Thursday night, 218 hours.
Huh?
I pulled up some stats on our channel analytics.
Oh, no way. Like, how do you mean? Like we've logged to it?
In the last 28 days,
yeah,
there have been 218 hours, watch time hours that people have put into this.
Well, that's so
What?
cool. We need to give it a thumbs up. I need to give tonight's a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, you people. There we go. Yay! Survey monkeys up. Muy bien.
I did it, Ryan. I did the thing that you asked to do.
You're awesome.
Yeah, I type things in the computer and it gives me things to put on the other computer.
Did it do stuff?
Yeah, it's there. I see it in the
Magic.
screen.
Magic happened.
Yeah,
There you go, people. There's your link.
yeah.
Oh man, John, we'll see you online definitely.
I got work to do now.
Yeah, so we gotta go.
Yeah,
I love you guys.
I didn't
You're
know.
amazing. I am so
Okay.
excited for next week.
Oh,
You guys, this is like such an awesome thing, man. I dig you guys. It makes my whole week happy.
Oh,
yeah.
right back at you.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same.
Right. Love you guys.